Hello everybody and welcome back to the 7 Days to Die Beginner's Guide. We are on day 3 and we've been collecting some resources so we can go on about some things today that I've had some questions on in the community and on other videos and whatnot. So today we're going to discuss about building and some other little tips and tricks along the way, some frequently asked questions. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is building your own base. Pros and cons and do's and don'ts. First thing is, if you're planning on building something grand and you want to kind of lay the foundation, this is probably not the best way of doing it. The reasoning behind that is because the more levels you put into building, the more resources you get access to and the stronger you can build a base. And obviously that in turn helps you defend your base against zombies and the likes. And there are quick and easy ways of doing it and harder ways of doing it. Building from wood, using wood frames, is a longer way about doing it, because to upgrade this it'll cost you a hell of a lot more, whereas if you spent the time getting your points, getting in, the concrete style of things, it takes a while. I think you have to be level 40 before you can even make the mixer. Yes, that does take a bit, but then all you need to build concrete is your rebar frames, which is your iron, and your concrete. A lot more cost effective and a lot quicker to upgrade. These take a while to upgrade, but that being said, I enjoy building a base and I enjoy kind of expanding on it at a later stage with stronger things around the outside. Now, a couple of things that I want to point out. Building a wooden base of any size will not last against zombies. They'll hold for a few moments against normal zombies. A horde zombie will not hold back a wooden base. They'll just smash it down. So don't bother trying to build in it and hold yourself in it. That we'll discuss when we go to day 7 on what we should do. Another thing, if you build something completely solid like this is here, and you give the zombies no way in or out, they will more than likely attack all the sides and cause damage to the whole structure as a whole. A couple of things I want to point out. If they take the support frame out of any kind of structure like this, the whole lot will collapse. Like so. Physics works in this game. If you happen to be stood on top of it, you are no longer stood on top of it. So, let's rebuild this. Bear that in mind. For how many have I bottoms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Physics works in this game to some extent. Because that's just a wooden frame, it can only hold so much weight. What are some of them? It can only hold so much weight. Different materials holds different strengths and stuff like that, and I will do a guide on that at a later stage when we get access to more stuff. You can also support them a little bit better by putting things like that in the middle. That'll hold more support as well. Now if you upgrade here, this will become heavier and it'll break it. Another thing as well is you can only go so far. If you put number 8 on here and then number 9, it collapses. So worthwhile keeping note of that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as I said earlier about upgrading, let's get the right axe out. That one's just going to smash it up. And if we keep upgrading like this, it's going to make me out to be a liar. Okay, that used to collapse it. Maybe it's changed now. Let us just upgrade it all. Well, let's see how much more we can put on it. All the way down. Takes the strength from where it is at the bottom there, so that will hold indefinitely. And then still can't take it. Okay, so the wood is useless. But when you do get stronger materials, you'll find that it holds it a lot better. As I say, we'll go into that with the guide. They have changed it slightly because the wood used to be a little bit stronger when you've upgraded it. Not to worry. Okay, so back to this. So yeah, they can attack all four sides. I've just done a little 5x5 interior, 7x7 exterior, and I'm going to build my door here. Now I like things aesthetically pleasing, so I will actually go around and I will break down the floor and I'll put flooring in. There's a couple of things I just wanted to point out before I did anything like that. This here looks like it's completely secured. If I built it up and upgraded it, then theoretically no zombies should come in. What you don't notice is this little gap here and this little gap here is actually where a crawling zombie can get in. Because it's not right down to the ground. So when you're building, bear that in mind. As you can see, as I put them in, it'll flatten the ground around it. And that's better. So just keep an eye on that, because if you do leave a gap like that, not only will your sound escape through the hole, the zombies will be attracted to that, any light and stuff like that will escape it, but zombies can just get in there. It also means they may only need to break one of these to actually be able to walk into your base, whereas normally they'd need two. Next thing, and this is the reason why I say you should go around leveling rather than building at first, but if you want to start building, by all means. It takes 4 hits of your normal axe to upgrade these wood. If you get the claw hammer, this becomes 1 hit every time. So you're upgrading a lot faster. This just takes so long. And if you miss it and you've got to go back over it, you've got to start again. So that's one thing to point out when you're building a base. If you can, hold off, get yourself better tools, and then start building your base. However, if you do like to build a base like I do, a couple of things to point out. The zombies will tend to go to your weakest point. If you build a gap like this and you keep the gap going, the likelihood is you can actually funnel your zombies to... That's annoying. You can funnel your zombies through this gap here. And then all I do is put a door on the external section or the internal section, or both. Certainly have a door on this section always, because if they break through the wall at any stage, then you've got nothing to kind of hold them back. They will still attack the outsides, but they're more than likely going to run through this central section here, which funnels them nicely for you to kill them. Now, a couple of things you can do. You can build defences and then build yourself another exit somehow, and let them kill themselves on it. Or you can actually use it as a filter, as a funnel, and kill them yourself if you're strong enough. Always go for option number 2. Try and take the enemy down yourself if you can, because that is experience. Experience gained is points gained, which means you can get yourself going a lot quicker when it comes to, you know, your points and whatnot. So don't waste points if you can help it. As you see, these are actually floating technically, so the ground isn't very even here. So what I'd go and do now is I'd dig out the ground where it was lower down, make it all 2 layers down, because that's just being awkward. And I just build 3 layers as is, so you've got your 3 layers all the way around. Clear anything in its way. So your walls are going all the way around here. You don't have to break everything down. It will clear it when you click on it properly, but sometimes it just puts it on top, which is annoying. And you've got plenty of time, so you don't have to rush doing this. You're not going to be in it properly anyways for the few nights you do have, because if you face a horde night with this base, it ain't going to survive and you're going to waste all that you've built. I would strongly suggest, and it is only a suggestion, that you try not to stay in a base that's like this until you've got some form of defences around it, or you can hold off 1 or 2 zombies at night. Purely because if you let them smash it down, you're just working for nothing basically. And I usually take the time now just to map out what it is I want to do, so I know when I come to it that this is where I'm going to be building. And you kind of know what you need as well. So make sure you get plenty of wood. I just go out and I gather resources just to keep me going. Another advantage to building kind of 3 layers is the enemy has less chance of hearing you, as you've got 3 walls blocking the sound out. There we go. So the likelihood is you can actually start building stuff inside, or at least inside one of your layers, at night. Now, there are various things you can do to help yourself survive against zombies. Things like mazing and stuff like that. The zombie pathing system at the moment is a bit skew-if. They should target your weakest point, which normally is your doors, because they are weaker than your walls normally, unless you upgrade your walls a lot more. But there I have my triple walled kind of base that I want to build, all mapped out, ready to go. Now, a couple of things to point out. If you leave it as is now, not only do I not like it because it doesn't look good, it's soil on the ground, they can actually dig underneath now. So they can actually dig underneath here and work their way up through the ground, because the soil is weaker than your walls. Certainly when you get to concrete and stuff like that, they'll dig underneath it. They will also go above as well. If they can get above, if you're in like a cave system and it's all just stone and soil, they'll just dig down and dig into your base. So make sure, if you want them to go a certain direction, you strengthen the areas that are weak points. So the wall, the floor, even. If I want them to come into the base through the walls or through the doors, then the doors need to be the weakest point. And the moment they are, there's nothing there, so they can just walk the way through. You can put a door on and then keep it open and they'll still target that way. But if you leave it as it is now, they'll just smash it all down. And that's just wasted wood. So yeah, so bear that in mind. So, with the idea of what you can and can't do, as in terms of how far you can go up and how much it'll take, just keep everything nice and secured. Keep everything nice and solid, like it is like this, where there's no gaps. Because if they do start breaking it down, if you're still on top of it, you've got a bit of a safe haven. That's kind of your last line of defence, or underneath if you want to go underneath. Remember, they can dig under. So if they've already spotted you, they will just dig to you. So this is an idea of a kind of layout that you can do. You can maze it if you want, but realistically it's wood, they're just going to smash through the wood. And yeah, there's not really much room inside this base at the moment. What I tend to do is I tend to build small like this, then I'll expand on it. So what I'll do then is I will use this outer wall here, build another wall, and I'll either remove the wall that I've got, or I will just kind of build a pathway into a new building and start building a new building. Once you start getting through the game, you'll find it's a lot easier to survive, especially during the night when you start having defences ready for you, like this is here, where it's all built up and it's ready to go. You can carry on working inside, building your base up bigger, building underground if you want to build an underground bunker. And obviously, once you start unlocking things like concrete, then you can really start getting to town. So on that note, as I said earlier, the one thing I would suggest you do is get leveling up. Level up, get your tools, certainly get to the next level of tools to make it easier for you, because you can't do anything like farming or anything like that, which we will touch on when we get the farming unlocked, because you need the tools again, you need the garden hoe. So yeah, so that's a little touch on the base building side of things. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably build this up for when we're on another episode, so we've got a bit of a base here, and I'll show you some little techniques on what I've done to kind of strengthen it and survive at night. And there are certain things we can do to I know somebody's asked me, how do you get zombies to come to you if you built this kind of funnel system? There's no zombies around, so what's the point? There are things you can do to influence zombies, zombie attraction. So zombies follow like a heat system, so if the heat of the area in terms of activity is high, then you're likely to get screamer zombies, and them screamer zombies bring in lots of zombies. During the daytime, they are great for XP farming. Remember, if you've got your traps, they will smash your traps up and you'll get no XP for them, so try and avoid using traps if you can. But they are a great way of getting experience, so I will set up a little thing. Realistically, you're not going to get it until you get forges. So once we get a forge, I will set it up so that we can get some screamer zombies come in, and we'll see what it's like getting XP that way. But let's see what this looks like when we've just done a little bit of an upgrade on it. So I'll be back in a second while I upgrade this a little bit. Okay, everybody, welcome back. And as you can see, it took me just a little over 2.5 hours of daytime just to get myself set up. Just this small amount here, and we've got absolutely nowhere near finished. So you can imagine the time it takes with the tools you have at the moment to build something smart. But one of the things I want to talk to you about, now that we've got something we can see and it looks a little bit tidier, is the advanced building techniques, but advanced rotation, more to the point. As standard, you just have standard rotation, which is the 4 directions you have here. When you're trying to build something nice, sometimes that isn't good enough, and there are things you can manipulate to look better. So all you need to do for that is, if you hold the R button, it gives you some options. We're currently on simple rotation. You can copy the rotation, so if you want to copy something that's already on it. You can have auto rotation, it will try and guess what you want it to be. You can have it where it's on its face, or the advanced rotation, which is what you want here. And this allows you to go through all the axes that are available to this item and put it in any kind of direction you want. So you want a corner piece here, and you want it to look like that. You can just keep going around, and there we go. And you get a jagged corner piece, which looks pretty smart, to be fair. It's actually quite nice. Something a bit different. That's a set of stairs. You can't walk up them, but I've used them to improve on what the look of my base is. And you can do that for almost any kind of item. Obviously, some things need to be upright to be able to use. As you know, we've seen that we can put the chest on the wall, but you still got to be able to open it. If you put it upside down, you're not going to be able to open it, so it's going to be no use to you. So just bear that in mind. But that's really it for kind of the building side of things. And as I said to you earlier on, I strongly suggest you wait until a little bit later into the game until you start really building something big. Even something like this is probably a little adventurous, because it is only wood at the end of the day and it ain't going to stop much. But still, gives me somewhere safe to work from. And I've still got my little base of operations. It's actually up there. My little base of operations ready for day 7. Do not smash up the base you're staying at. Keep everything there for now. If you want to move stuff to here, that's absolutely fine. But just keep your bedding there. Don't move it into here, because if this gets compromised, you've got no way of getting back to there. Especially if you've got any number of zombies here killing you at night time. It's just going to be a pain in the backside to try and survive. And don't forget, zombies at night, you can outrun them. You know, they're not too bad at night, and you can hide from them as well. If you crouch, it'll give you like an idea. It just makes it easier for them to see you. That's all it is, and harder for you to see them. So just bear that in mind, and bear that in mind when you're trying to build your base as well. Don't forget, this here is going to be pitch black at night. You're not going to be able to see anything, and with the walls being so low, the zombies can see you working on it. So bear that in mind. What I tend to do is I build the outer wall first, put some lighting on the inside, and then you can work away to your heart's content. You may attract zombies because the sound, you know, when you're hammering and stuff like that, there's still sound that will bring them, but you'll have a bit of an advance warning. And if you allow them, if you're strategical, you can allow them to just break the first wall down, and you can attack them through it. But if they start breaking 2 layers, like vertically, then they're going to be able to get through, and then they will try and kill you. If you're close to them, they'll try and hit you rather than trying to break the wall down. So use that to your advantage. So hopefully this is giving you a bit of a 101 on building something simple. As we progress through the guide, we will bring you some more complex ideas and tips and stuff like that, and some ideas on how to defend your bases better as we go through it. But I want to kind of grow our ideas and everything like that as we're going through this guide, because this is what you've got available to you at the start. We're only on day 3. I haven't done much different to what you can do. The one thing I will suggest is, obviously, when you come to using your points, I tend to do a certain thing. You want to unlock these here sooner rather than later, because this is, if you want to build, you want to build a nice base or some nice weapons and stuff like that, you kind of need this, because this unlocks all the tools that you need, and steel and iron, and you can build military stuff. So you really need this, but you're not going to get any of this without experience. So to get experience, you need to kill things. So you need to work on your strength. So the first thing I suggest, and again, this is only my personal opinion, is aim for the strength side of things. Miner 69 is brilliant because you can break the blocks down a lot quicker, giving you more experience faster, and also gets you more equipment faster, so wood, stone, or anything like that you're doing. Don't bother too much about mother loads. You can get more, yes, that's excellent, but realistically, you want to do more to get more because it's more experience. Sexual Tyrannosaurus is good because it reduces your melee stamina. Your stamina usage when you're meleeing and using your tools, which makes it a lot easier for you. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier, Pack Mule is brilliant because it allows you to carry more stuff when you're hunting down zombies in their homes. Because that is the number one way of getting experience and gear. Getting in these houses, clearing them, and just gathering the stuff that are in there. You'll find tools and stuff like that in there which will make your life a lot easier. I found an iron fire axe which makes chopping down trees a lot quicker. And you're still gathering stuff as well all the time, things that you can use. Just remember, you've only got a limited use of food and water though. That's the one thing you need to make sure you keep an eye on. I mean, look at that, look how much my water's down, and I maxed that out during the night. So keep an eye on things. You don't want to be running low on this while you're building your base, because then you really are going to struggle, because you're going to be fighting for your own survival as well as against the zombies. And you're back to day one again. So keep that in mind. Hopefully this is giving you some idea on base building. If you'd like some idea on designs and stuff like that, I can certainly give you anything. Just leave me a comment in the comment section. If you want any more tips or anything like that on base building, please ask away. I can do a Q&A session as well. And remember, as I said to you before, you want to go for clearing houses first, gathering second, base building third. That's my suggestion. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. Do what you want to do. But all the time, you're working towards day 7. This is going to keep you alive. Or at least it's going to help. And it's certainly going to help when it comes to later down the line. And also some things we can do that I'm going to help you on day 7 that will help you still level up and hopefully gather some gear at the same time as well. Maybe not the gear at levels at day 7 because you're not strong enough, but when you come to the later hordes, you may be able to get gear from the zombies that you're killing because they do drop stuff. So bear that in mind. But that's it for this part of the guide. This is day 3. A bit of an update for you and some ideas. Please leave any questions. I'd love to hear your questions because it gives me something that I can cover on my next episode along with what I've got to cover on the guide. So it also, it helps you, which helps me as well. So until next time, everybody, take care for now, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye for now.